Open your eyes. You're underwater. You can't see the surface anymore. You can't see the bottom either. You're just in the middle, and something below you. You pass the surface. The light fades. 100 meters, 500 meters, 1,000 meters. It's completely dark now. The pressure is crushing your chest. 5,000 meters, 8,000 meters, 10,000 meters. You're still falling, and you haven't hit the bottom yet. Today, we're going all the way down, from the sunlit surface to the deepest, darkest, most crushing place on Earth. We'll meet creatures that weaponize darkness. We'll visit vents on the ocean floor that shouldn't support life, but somehow do. We'll discover why the ocean is the reason you're alive right now. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at the ocean the same way again. Let's start with something simple. How big is the ocean? You've heard it before. 71% of Earth's surface. Fine. But surface area doesn't tell the real story. The real story is the volume. 1.335 billion cubic kilometers of water. That number is so large, it's almost meaningless. So let's make it real. Take every river on Earth, every lake, every glacier, every raindrop falling right now. Combine them all. You'd have less than 3% of the water already in the ocean. Now, depth. Most people know the ocean is deep. But how deep? The average depth is 3,688 meters. That's over 2 miles straight down. But the average is just the beginning. At its deepest point, the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, the ocean plunges to 10,935 meters, nearly 7 miles. Mount Everest stands at 8,849 meters. Drop it into the Challenger Deep. Its peak would still be more than a mile underwater. And here's something nobody talks about. If you jumped from the surface of the Challenger Deep right now, it would take you over an hour to reach the bottom. 60 minutes. Falling. In complete darkness. That's the ocean. Now let's talk about what actually lives down there. Scientists divide the ocean into 5 distinct zones, each one a completely different world. Zone 1, the sunlight zone, 0 to 200 meters. This is the ocean you know. Coral reefs, dolphins, sea turtles, whale sharks. Nearly everything you've ever seen in an ocean documentary lives here. But here's the thing. This zone represents less than 2% of the ocean's total depth. Everything you know about the ocean, the colorful, beautiful, familiar part, is just the very top layer, a thin skin on something incomprehensibly vast. Zone 2, the twilight zone, 200 to 1,000 meters. Sunlight fades here, not gone, but dying. At 200 meters, you're already experiencing 20 times the pressure at the surface. The temperature drops sharply. The water turns cold and dark. And the creatures here have adapted in extraordinary ways. Enormous eyes, built to catch the last traces of light. The vampire squid. Not actually a squid, not actually a vampire, but one of the strangest animals on Earth, drifting through the twilight like a living ghost. And then there are the lanternfish. Small, unremarkable looking, but every single night, they rise toward the surface to feed. And every single dawn, they sink back into the darkness. It's the largest migration on Earth, and almost nobody knows it's happening. Zone 3, the midnight zone, 1,000 to 4,000 meters. No sunlight, ever. The pressure here, 100 to 400 times atmospheric pressure, enough to crush a human body instantly. And yet, this zone is alive. Bioluminescent jellyfish drift like living lanterns. Giant squid hunt in the darkness. Creatures so rarely seen that for centuries, Sailors thought they were myths. And then there's the anglerfish, one of the most terrifying and fascinating creatures on Earth. It carries its own light, a glowing lure dangling in front of its enormous jaws. In the complete darkness of the midnight zone, that tiny light is irresistible to prey. They swim toward it. They don't swim away. Zone 4. The abyssal zone. 4,000 to 6,000 meters. This is the deep ocean floor. Vast, flat plains of sediment stretching for thousands of kilometers. Cold, just above freezing, dark, silent. For a long time, scientists believed nothing could survive here. Then, in 1977, everything changed. A research team exploring the Galapagos Rift found something impossible. Cracks in the ocean floor, hydrothermal vents, where superheated water erupts from deep inside the Earth. The water temperature? Up to 400 degrees Celsius. And surrounding these vents, entire ecosystems. Tube worms 2 meters long, ghostly white crabs, shrimp with no eyes. Life, thriving, in conditions that should be completely impossible. Here's what makes this so extraordinary. Every ecosystem we knew about ran on sunlight. Plants absorb sunlight. Animals eat plants. The whole chain depends on the sun. But these creatures, they don't need the sun at all. They run on chemical energy from the Earth itself. This discovery didn't just change oceanography. It changed how we think about life in the universe. If life can exist here, in crushing darkness, near boiling water, with no sunlight, where else might it exist? Jupiter's moon. Europa has a liquid ocean beneath its icy surface. After 1977, scientists started looking at it very differently. Zone 5, the Hadal Zone, 6,000 meters and beyond, named after Hades, the Greek underworld. These are the ocean trenches, the deepest places on Earth. And even here, even at pressures that would flatten a submarine, life exists. Tiny crustaceans called amphipods have been found at the very bottom of the Mariana Trench, thriving, reproducing, living their entire lives in conditions we once thought were impossible for any organism. Now, close your eyes again. You're at the bottom of the ocean. No light, crushing pressure, but it's not silent. The ocean is one of the loudest places on Earth. Sound travels through water 4 times faster than through air, and the creatures here have evolved to use it in extraordinary ways. The blue whale, the largest animal to ever exist on Earth, communicates with calls so low, so powerful, they can travel across entire ocean basins. A blue whale in the Pacific Ocean can hear another blue whale in the Atlantic. Think about that. 2 animals, separated by thousands of miles of ocean, having a conversation. Sperm whales use clicks, called codas, that are so complex, researchers believe they may have their own dialects. Different groups of sperm whales, different accents, like regional languages. And then there's the SOFAR channel, a layer of water at around 1,000 meters depth where sound gets trapped and travels extraordinary distances. In the 1940s, the U.S. Navy discovered they could use this channel to detect submarines from thousands of miles away, but nature discovered it first. Whales have been using the SOFAR channel for millions of years. In 1997, NOAA hydrophones detected a sound, extraordinarily powerful, ultra-low frequency. It traveled thousands of miles across the Pacific. They called it the bloop. For years, nobody knew what made it. The internet went wild. Sea monsters, Cthulhu, unknown creatures. The answer turned out to be an ice quake, a massive iceberg cracking in Antarctica. Disappointing? Maybe. But the fact that a sound from Antarctica could be detected thousands of miles away, That tells you everything about how extraordinary the ocean's acoustic environment really is. The ocean is not just deep. It's the reason you're alive. It's the reason this planet has breathable air. It's the reason our climate is stable enough for civilization to exist. And we've explored less than 5% of it. 95% of the ocean is still waiting. Undiscovered species, unknown ecosystems, sounds we've never heard, creatures that have never seen a human being. Subscribe, because we're just getting started.